Georgia has a grand jury for an investigation into the 2020 elections. Out of 200 folks who showed up as jurors, 26 were selected, including 3 alternates. Now, the center of the probe focuses on Donald Trump and his big lie, text messages, as well as a phone call between Trump and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger as Trump pushed to reverse the outcome of Georgia's election. You might remember he said, look, man, go find those 11,000 votes. Happened to be the margin he was losing. The investigation has been underway since early last year. To help it along, Fulton County DA Fani Willis requested a special grand jury with subpoena power to obtain testimony from people who've refused to cooperate otherwise. The special grand jury will be seated for about a year. Okay, so let's unpack this. So, Candace, what you have here, I mean, they literally have audio tapes of Donald Trump saying, go find these 11,000 votes.
They've got it, and they're going to hear it. And that's what's key here for this special grand jury that has been assembled, that you said is going to take a year to get to the bottom of this, but they're going to be able to make recommendations for another grand jury in order to be assembled, and then the indictments will happen. There are about 100 things that Trump could go down for in terms of criminal charges. In New York City, we see that things are at a standstill when it comes to his financial record and him saying that his buildings were worth more than they really were. That's come to a bit of a halt. This is really what he's thinking about today. How is this going to come out for him? Not only we're looking at charges of him messing with a federal election, but we're also looking at racketeering charges. Think about R. Kelly. It happens in kind of a nuanced way, but if you have someone that is organizing criminal acts across state lines, that's what they call racketeering. That's what took R. Kelly down, and that is really big in terms of what could take Trump down, crossing state lines and doing all of these things, assembling all of these different people. And they don't have to conspire about it. It just has to happen. And that's why this is one of the strongest cases that is out there against Trump in terms of criminal charges. So far, it has the most stickiness and is the most viable.
And the bottom line here is they've got receipts, Teresa. You got text messages, you got phone calls. And for all these folks, okay, if they call you. Now, so first of all, actually, before I go to Teresa, Candace, can somebody invoke the Fifth Amendment before a grand jury?
They can, but it would suit them not to, because grand juries are juries that are protected, and we're not supposed to hear anything about what's on the record. So they should feel safe in doing so, but they can. Got it.
Teresa, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting time. I'm excited to see this special committee. Georgia has proven to, be very affluent, not only in their votes, but they look like, I'm hoping that the selection committee is one that is ready for the testimony, ready to make those calls to individuals, to ask them intense questions, to ask them, hey, what did you mean by this? Did the advisors, when Trump, gave his announcement, hey, I need to find 11,000 votes, how did they act on it? And I think that is probably going to be the twist here on the action of the advisors. No longer does he have a press secretary to say, oh, this is what he meant and this is, what was desired. No, the facts are real. And the realness of it hopefully will come into some charges in this case.
And he can't invoke executive privilege here, Mustafa. He's got, if he gets called, he has to testify.
This is true, and based upon the the evidence that we know that's out there right now, it is a strong case. But let's not forget that even though there wasn't a legal proceeding before, we've seen Trump on video or on audio tape before, and folks were just like, that's just Trump. Now, this is a different situation, of course. But I also worry that the time that this may take may lead up to when he may be running for president again. And even though he will still have to testify, depending on how long this gets played out, folks could say, well, we don't want to interfere with the 2024 election. So we should just be mindful of all these different dynamics that we often will say, well, that won't happen, or there's no way that could possibly play out like that. And each time that we've said that, we found out that we were wrong.
Indeed. So again, hopefully we're going to actually see some real justice take place here. All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?